Hi, everybody. How are you doing, Fibro Fighters? Isn't this weather wonderful? I really light up when, the air gets warm and the sunshine starts shining brightly. I love summer. I think the stork dropped me off on the wrong part of the planet. Anyway, here we are today on Friday, May the 13th, 2022. And found it extremely interesting, the question and topic that I'm going to address today, simply because I myself am fighting it today, and that is fibro fog, one of the nastiest symptoms that us fibro subjects suffer from. So I got a question at the start of the week that really kind of triggered a little bit of research, only because I'd like to put together a pamphlet with some templates to help you. And so I've been really busy with that. We'll get to it. Anyway, Sharon C. asks, please explain fibro fog and what we can do to get rid of it. Well, Sharon, okay, let's start with fibro fog. What is it? It is definitely a symptom that's, quite frankly, probably just as problematic as the pain itself is. And there are some, myself inclusive, who would say it's even worse, because trying to maintain a stream of cohesive thoughts is very difficult. We will do things like lose words or our ability to think quickly and on our feet. Hi, how are you today? And I'm still stuck on the hi. Before I get to the how are you today and capable of responding, that person has long since walked away, and I'm kind of standing there feeling like a bit of a Nimrod, So actually, the what fibro fog feels like, Kathy M. She described what it feels like, and I swear she has the best explanation. And she says it's like wearing one earplug, floppy shoes, and a parka while swimming through a muddy ditch, and then falling asleep and waking up with no idea where you are, who you are, and what somebody just said. You see mouths moving, but it's gibberish. And then it all trickles back to reality slowly. You feel hungover, and you typically hurt everywhere at the end of it. That's what fibro fog feels like, says Kathy M. And honestly, I had to read her expression because I couldn't have described it any better. I mean, often I will describe it as being underwater. My reality, I'm the person underwater, and reality's out there. My senses become either extremely dulled or really overloaded, like super sensitive. I mean, I can hear a light bulb as it trickles, or I can hear the hum behind the TV of the electricity. I can, it's awful because it's very, very distracting. And for someone like myself, who has a very full day of different activities, all of which need cognitive functioning at optimal ability, which is why I diet properly. And by diet, I mean the food that you intake, make sure it's nutritious, so that it's giving your body the building blocks to create the cells for what you want it to do. See there, loss of words. Okay, so this is one of those times in which one of the tools that I use on a very regular basis, and anybody who knows me or has followed me for any length of time knows that I love whiteboards. Whiteboards are fantastic for jotting down an idea that you only need to have to recall. When we're fighting with fibro fog in particular, having those reference notes kind of all over is nice. I don't like throwing out all the papers. I used to use, sticky notes. I still do sometimes, but now I use sticky notes for more longer term things, like different articles I'd like to get to, or some research papers that I'd like to read, just to remind myself, because I do have a very busy brain. Now, fibro fog is something that I hear about just to give you an idea before I move to what fibro fog is. I keep this on my desk, and this changes constantly. But I mean, just to give you an idea of different thoughts. Now, this I picked up on Amazon for X amount of dollars. I think it was, under $20. It swivels. It's two-sided, so depending on what I'm doing at what particular time, and I can jot all of my notes. Now, as you can see, I'm struggling with fibro fog, which is why I have so many callback notes here for myself, reminder notes for myself to address. Okay, so basically clients are often reporting that especially in the beginning of our work together, that they seem more forgetful, or they feel like they're walking around in a daze, kind of like so one of the first things I do recommend is keeping a log and a journal, because we want to make sure that that daze is not directly associated with the pharmaceutical haze. So if you're someone who's taking a lot of pharmaceuticals to fight fibromyalgia at this particular point in time, you really do want to make sure that it's not a pharmaceutical haze, and that it is actually fibro fog. Okay, that Google the symptoms, you'll see, and yes, they're very similar, but there is a difference, and you will know the difference. It's an internal difference. You actually feel very different. Let's see. I have a lot of notes here helping me today. Fibromyalgia causes aches and pains all over the body. It causes fatigue. There are sleep disturbances. There are mood issues. We become very moody people. It can also lead to long-term suffering from fibromyalgia, or long-term use of different pharmaceuticals to fight fibromyalgia can lead to different things like memory loss and the ability to think clearly and cohesively, consistently. So it really is, these cognitive difficulties can be subverted simply by using different tools to train the brain. Exercising your brain, just like you exercise the other muscles in your body, is very important. And you can do this in a fun way. And it's something that I'm going to get to in a few minutes. But the truth is, more than half of the fibromyalgia subjects or clients or patients, fibromyalgia sufferers, fibromyalgia fighters that are out there do have a decline in memory, recall ability, that sort of thing. So it is extremely important that in order to avoid or prevent and help or heal things like memory issues or for forgetfulness, to have tools in place or strategies and programs planned in advance to help us, right? Because it causes an impaired ability to stay focused. There's a decreased alertness. I don't like driving when I'm in a fibro fog. In fact, I won't. There's problems with thinking clearly, and there's a lot of mental slowness. I mean, there's difficulty holding conversations because your speech is either delayed or super accentuated. There seems to be no level. We don't get to live in here during fibro fog in the pendulum. We're either swinging at this end, which things are very slow, or we're swinging at this end, which things are moving really, really fast. Sensory overload tends to become an issue for me, which will trigger a fibro flare. Fortunately, I am aware, and I've done that through using a battle strategy guide, which you can download for free simply by subscribing at fightfibro.ca. When you subscribe at fightfibro.ca, you can download this battle strategy guide, which has a couple of templates, which will help you identify what your triggers are and knowing what they are, you can subvert them. You can sneak around them. You can avoid them. You can prevent them. And when they do come anyway, you've already got a plan in place. You don't have to think about what to do next, because there it is in writing, because it has worked not just once before for you, but twice before and 3 times before. And so the better you get at doing that sort of thing, the more natural it will become to you. And you too can live pharmaceutically free and fight fibro and live a great quality of life without having this dis-ease hold your life hostage. So there's a lot of reasons. A lot of different people think different reasons for why fibro exists, why we have fibro. It hasn't truly been identified yet at this point in time, so I'm not even going to address that, just because I know, well, maybe I should, right? Okay, experts theorize that fibro fog is probably related to the impact of the fibro pain. So because we've had to manage chronic pain demands on our brain and our body, and that attention takes a lot of mental stimulation. We have about 10 volts of energy that circulates through our brain and the speed at which it does it per second is determined by the state that our brain is in. Wow, that was a whole lot, wasn't it? But anyways, so, when you're in the awake and alert state, that energy is spinning around in your brain. 10 volts of energy is spinning around in your brain at approximately 30 cycles per second, give or take numbers. And you know what? I'm pulling that off the top of my head on a fibro fog fighting day. So bear with me. Coming back to how our brain is working. So if that energy is being spent and exercised on managing the pain or coping with the pain, good, bad, or otherwise. I mean, if you're really focused on the pain, ow, it hurts, you're still expending a lot of energy on that pain. You're spending an equal amount of energy on that pain if you're saying, okay, breathe deeply, this too shall pass. I'm adding oxygen to the muscles, which is giving the muscles the tensility that it needs. And if there was little warriors in my body, they would be standing at full attention, ready to take on this attack. And, let's give them some cannabinoid warriors and apply a topical. So, I mean, it's all in how you are applying your energy, but you're still spending that excess energy that's circulating in your brain. You're spending not the excess, but you're spending excess amounts of that energy in fighting that pain or modulating that pain and pain control, which means other pathways are not being exercised. Other neurological neurons that fire together, wire together. Okay, so if you focus, like there was 2 scenarios. If you focus on the positive, then those neurons are going to fire together. And the more you do it, the better habit it becomes. And the more it becomes a habit, the more natural it becomes. Before you know it, it's not a habit. It's just part of who you are. Fighting fibro pharmaceutically free requires that you practice. Just like any other warrior, you have to practice and develop your skills every single day. And it really does pay off. Pharmaceutical free for 10 plus years now, my friends, and proud, very, very proud. Moving on. There's a lot more research that needs to be done to show how fibromyalgia is associated with cognitive problems, but the new EKGs, the research that's being done with neurofeedback and biofeedback is just phenomenal. That being said, there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon for knowing. Once we know how it happens, we can change what happens, right? So the cognitive effects of fibromyalgia are definitely very, very challenging. There's some patients that will admit, much like myself, it's even embarrassing at different times. So it really is important to stick to your personalized fibro strategy treatment plan. Building that is very, very important. If you want some help with it, you can schedule a couple of appointments with me. Even if you just want to talk about whether or not having a couple of appointments with me or sessions with me would be helpful for you, go to greenirene.ca, check out the website, book a discovery call with me. It's free. It's 30 minutes. You can book it through calendly.com/greenirene.thc or go to greenirene.ca, fightfibro.ca, healthyselfhypnosis.com. Any of these places you can find me, you can book a call with me, and I can help you. Okay. And if that means scheduling a session or 2 or maybe more, if that means just in that 30 minutes, you've got enough tips to get you started in the right direction, please help you. That's what I do. So as I said, different things like medication can mask itself as fibro fog, or fibro fog can be masked from a pharmaceutical haze. Be careful of that. There really is no one-size-fits-all strategy or approach to managing fibromyalgia. It really is an individual thing, but the goal is always the same, and that is to help minimize the symptoms and improve your general health. The bottom line is your health and wellness begins with you. Don't Honestly, don't let this disease hold your health, your happiness, the quality of your life or living your life. Don't let it hold it hostage. Fight back, fight fibro. Be the victor, not the victim. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. And there's all kinds of ways that you can do this to help cut through the brain fog, thinking clearly, more clearly. There are some different strategies that you can employ. One of them, of course, is exercise your body. And I will say this always: start slowly with light stretching, gradually increase your activity. There's different exercises that are really good, and you can employ them now that the nice weather is here. Things like walking and swimming, water aerobics, basically, and if you need to or want to even, I recommend it. It's good for you. Support your efforts using things like cannabis cream, tinctures, infused bath salts, topicals, different topicals. There's all kinds of things available on the retail market, as well as the craft cannabis connoisseur market. And there's a lot of ways to make your own. In fact, again, at fightfibro.ca, I'm pretty sure I offer you a very, very easy cannabis infused coconut oil recipe that you can employ, that you can create in a crock pot in your kitchen in a matter of hours and have enough to supply you for the entire month. And you can do this with stock or with, bud or leftover trim, or you can do it in all kinds of different ways. It's grandma's kitchen, right? Cannabis Creations. And that being said, check out the new store, because Cannabis Creations shop has unofficially soft opened with a few products online, and you can find that at the Facebook page of Green Irene's THC. Okay. What else can you do? Okay, yeah, like I said, you can support your exercise efforts using creams and that sort of thing. You can also, something else that's really, really important. I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the show, and that was to exercise your brain. Doing exercise, memory triggering activities, things like doing puzzles, playing different board games, brain teasers are fantastic. I myself love Sudoku and I love Scrabble. I also read for about 2 hours a day, and sometimes that means I have to go back the very next day and read everything I read the day before, because the day before I was fighting fibro fog and I don't have that kind of a memory recall. But again, repetition breeds familiarity. Familiarity becomes a habit becomes a characteristic. Reading about 2 hours every day. If you're not a reader, that's fine. If you're more of an audio person, listen to a book, something out of your realm, something that's going to educate you a little bit, preferably, and help you fight fibro more naturally, pharmaceutically free. And I know I say that often, and you probably also heard me say there is a time and place for pharmaceuticals. I just don't want to live because of them. I would really like to allow my body the opportunity to do what it is capable of doing, and that is healing itself through mind, exercise, diet. So yeah, working out your brain, just as important as working out the muscles that hold your skeletal system together. The other thing, sleep schedule. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. You want good sleep hygiene. And I know sleep does not come easy for us fibro warriors. But you know what? Again, make it a habit. Go to bed at 10, get up at 7. And whether you want to get up at 7 or not, even if you only get up for 10 minutes, the point is you've registered in your brain that 7 a.m. is the time to get up. So definitely stick to a good sleep hygiene schedule. It means going to bed at the same time. If you get to bed and you're not tired, do a meditation. It just get into the habit of meditating. And I'm going to talk a lot more about meditating in a couple of seconds when I get there. But our bodies heal best when they're at rest. And that's a saying or a quote or a slang, whatever you want to call it, that my nanny used to say all through my childhood, into my teens and into my adult years. Our bodies heal best when they're at rest. So let your body get the rest so that your subconscious can do the work that it knows how to do, by sending all of those warriors to the right places in your body to help you heal yourself. Yes. What else? Okay. With fibromyalgia, quality of sleep is just as important as the amount of sleep. Some things that will help you sleep, there's other tips. I mean, have a nice bath beforehand, preferably with cannabis-infused salts. Don't take naps, especially in the late afternoon. Limit the amount of caffeine you're putting into your body. So there, I mean, the amount of sugar. There's all these obvious things. Some cannabis strains that will, finding the right cannabis strain or the right cannabis profile to help you sleep, whether you're a recreational user, a medicinal user, a therapeutic user, or a combination of all consumer of cannabis. There are ways to strategically use it to achieve specific results, especially when it comes to our health and wellness. And if you want to know more information about that, don't be shy. Book a discovery call with me. Tell me, we're going to talk about cannabis. I want to know how to use it for myself. And tell me that in advance in the little message portion, and I will prepare accordingly. But finding your optimal strategy or strategic strain profiles will help tremendously. Again, schedule a discovery call with me. You can do that through greenirene.ca, fightfibro.ca, or healthyselfhypnosis.com. You can also book a call with me now, I believe, through the Facebook Green Irene's THC page, but I'm not sure if I got everything set up yet. I'm a one-woman show, and I'm a fibro fighter. So yes, although I am a victor and not a victim, I do have my own challenges, and I can't be everything at all times. That being said, it's very important to know your limits, especially when it comes to fighting stuff like fibro fog. Having notes around yourself, knowing your limits, remembering to take rest and time out. I am a firm believer, and I tell everybody often, please meditate every day. Make time to relax every single day. You don't want to suffer from sensory overload. You want to afford yourself approximately 10 minutes in the morning if possible, and 10 minutes in the evening. Not necessarily just before bed, but maybe about a half an hour before, to help your body get into the zone and recognize the fact that, yes, we're going to be going to bed soon. Now, knowing how to pace your energy, knowing how to divert the minutes, hours, and periods throughout your day is a really big step in combating and fighting the fog that is associated with a fibro flare. If in the near future you want to try meditating from the privacy of your home, I'm going to be introducing a new show on Wednesdays at noon. It's about 7 minutes, and we're going to do a midweek medicated meditation. That is just way too many words, but you get the idea. That will be airing live on Facebook as well as the YouTube channels through StreamYard. I will be airing Wednesday starting June 1st at noon. We will be doing a medicated meditation, guided meditation to help you midweek get through the rest of the week. And so even if you don't get into the habit of doing the morning and night, or you've got to start somewhere, why not start there in the middle of the week? Join me on Green Irene's THC Facebook page Wednesdays starting June 1st. There will be some advertising and some posts that go out in the near future giving more information on that. Deep breathing exercises are very important. You can do these doing the dishes. You can do them driving the car. You can do them sitting on your couch or on your balcony on the back porch. You can do them when you're gardening. Take those 3 or 4 very deep breaths. 7-11 is the secret number. Inhale nice and deeply for 7 seconds. Hold, and then exhale slowly for 11 seconds. That's actually a SEAL training technique. Also live in the moment, making time each day, starting your day mindfully, completing your day mindfully. For help learning to meditate, I will be available. You can schedule a discovery call with me at any point in time with any questions that you have. And on that note, I believe I have run out of information for you today, other than to say, Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope the rest of your weekend and the week ahead until I see you next Friday here on the Fight Fibro series or Fibro Fight series Facebook page, as well as fightfibro.ca, greenirene.ca, the YouTube channels, Restream, Video Stream, Steam Stream, and a whole bunch of others. That said, 30 minutes a week to a healthier, happier, more mindful you. Share with your friends, and thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please keep sending them to me. You can send them at info@greenirene.ca, and I will do my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can in the coming weeks, coming days. Peace out. Have a great weekend. Ciao for now.